just going to ask, obviously, a big weekend for goaltenders in that series, and from the Omaha perspective, certainly a great one for your teammate, your goaltender. When talk about the importance with the skaters up in front of a goaltender like that. Is that the confidence just really builds it? You can get on the attack when you know a guy, an operator like Simon is back in there, especially with his abilities. They're proven on breakaways.
Yeah, Simon's phenomenal, and it really showed last weekend on Friday and Saturday, and in the shootout and overtime as well. But I just think you see it week to week in practice and day to day, and he's excellent every day. And he challenges himself, and he meets with Pete and with Gabs, and they've been working as a team to kind of just all be on the same page and figure out what's going to work for himself. And I just know our room, we feel like we can beat anyone, and Simon's the driver of that when he's hot, because he gives us a chance every game. So it's critical, and it's coming at a great time, and he's been great all year. But we love weekends like last weekend.
Talk a little bit about last weekend. That building, I think, was as loud as I've ever heard it over the last 8 years. What did that mean to you as a player to have the support of the crowd and the students behind you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been blessed in my 2 years to have a great showing here. I think our athletic program's done a really good job of bringing in students and fans and generating a ton of support throughout the community. But so yeah, I've been blessed with great crowds. But Friday and Saturday felt special, and after hearing Sully's late goal, the reaction, and then Tanner's game winner and Simon's save, it was a pretty fun sequence of events. And those are kind of the moments where you just have to sit back and like pinch yourself that you haven't made it, because I don't think anyone ever truly arrives, but that you're here in a fun place, and it's a big moment. And sweeping the number 10 team in the country is a big deal to us, and it's a big deal to our community. So it was awesome, and you don't take moments like that for granted.
You've had a lot of success of the team speaking over the last 3 weeks. What's the feeling in the locker room as you come down these last couple of weeks of the regular season in terms of confidence level and ready to hit the ice each and every night?
Yeah, I think it goes back to really early in the year with just knowing our identity and what we do well as a group. And I think we got away from talking about it in the middle part of the year maybe, but not so much not acting it out. I think we still followed through on it in the middle part of the season, but I just think now we're talking about it again, and it's a constant conversation reminder. And there's 3 bullet points that Sully writes up on the board before every game, and those are 3 things that are just non-negotiables. And it's good for 23 guys, however many guys, to see that and commit it to memory, and so it's just automatic. But yeah, I mean, obviously everyone talks about confidence, and I'm convinced confidence is earned, and I think we earned it in the bye week for how we took care of our bodies and how we trained and our mentality. So I don't think it's a surprise to anyone in our room and in our community that we're doing well, and it might be to outsiders, but we feel good, and we're healthy, and guys are confident, so it's going to be exciting.
Huge weekend obviously coming up. Points are critical at this point, especially as you guys continue to chase home ice. Mm-hmm. What do you expect out of this weekend, and what's the feeling like from the guys?
Yeah, I like the trip to Miami. I love their campus. I think it's a cool spot. But that aside, I just think guys know that it's, like you said, points are critical, and we're in the NCHC, and every team's great. Every team's great, and every team can play. I mean, they took Denver to overtime and had a thriller there, and Denver's a phenomenal team, which means Miami's a very capable and great team as well. So you can't overlook anyone in college hockey as a whole, let alone our conference. So it means something to be a part of the NCHC. So we know how important it is. We know what they're going to bring, and I just think all we can do is continue to prepare and then be ready to feel great Friday and Saturday and make the most of our opportunities.
Do you sit back sometimes and watch your brother in a shootout and think, all right, what moves are you going to go with here? Have you seen all those moves? Or were you picking up on maybe that one in a road hockey game in front of the house at some point in your lives? Or you know what he's going to do?
Man, I'd never know what he's going to do with the puck. I mean, he had a couple backhand area passes to the slot to his line mates, and you're like, why are you holding it on to it for so long? And guys on the round are giving you stick taps. To me, like, what's T doing? But it's a sick play, and I don't know. It was funny on the bench. He swapped sticks right before he went out for the shot because he wasn't feeling the other stick. So he's funny. He's got like minimal superstitions. He's just like so go with the flow, and I mean that's awesome because in the moment I don't think you can come with a prepared move against a great goaltender like Emberko. So he beat him with a shot, and he could beat him with his hands too. But yeah, I kind of just like, let's see what he does today.
We got to get Austin and Mike on the bus, but talk about that feeling of the stick a little bit as a hockey player. You mentioned, I don't feel this one today.
Yeah, I think as you play, like the tape wears. So I mean, that could be an obvious one, is that your tape's falling off your blade, or if you use wax, the ice builds up, the snow builds up on your stick. But I just think too, the more you use a stick, the more it gets, like, we call it whipped out or flop, like the stick's flopped out, so that loses its flex, or the blade is a little bit like not as stiff as it used to be, so like the puck doesn't feel the same. And it's funny when you describe it to people who don't use a stick every day for hours a day, but like when you do that, you notice when the stick's not performing how it should. But obviously, you know, if you still are making enough mistakes, you gotta probably look in the mirror versus your stick. But yeah, it's important, like it's a thing for sure.
You talked about the depth in this conference. It's a long season calendar-wise, a lot taxing on the body, but how about the mental aspect of going out game after game after game and playing the number 3 team in the nation, the number 5 team in the nation, and obviously you guys are right there as well. How mentally taxing can that be given the depth in this conference?
It can be taxing if you let the rankings consume you. Like if you're, even myself included, just speaking on my own, it's challenging if you look at like, oh, okay, we play this top 10 ranked team this week, and we have to beat them in order for, and then this game has to lose this, and like if you start trying to do the math to get into, you know, a comfortable position to make the tournament, it's like it doesn't serve yourself or your team. But mentally, I just think the best thing the school's done since I've been here is add Dr. Lindsay Hauser on staff for mental health and psychology, and she's been a huge service to a ton of us. And I think, obviously, like most guys go there, or at least myself, you go for hockey at first, and then you kind of get to start working on your life as a whole. And it's been a huge asset to myself and a few other guys that I know of. But it can, you know, if you let your mind go down that rabbit hole of looking at, you know, the ranks of the teams you're playing, it will consume you, and it won't serve you. So it's not worth it, but it's still hard to control sometimes.
I was saying one more. So you're wearing your 771 hat. How's that going? Has
Yeah.
that been an addition to I see more and more people wearing the hats going around. What does that mean to you to see people wearing that?
It's pretty surreal. Like this past weekend after CC, both of us having a hand in the game and helping us win late. Like we had a ton of people come up to us for photos and signatures on the hats and pictures with their kids and whatnot, and even just a conversation or a fist bump. And like, again, that's the stuff like you don't realize is going to come to fruition when you commit here when you're 15 or 14 years old, like Tanner was. So it's super cool, and like I don't want to ever get used to that feeling. Like it's a treat that people want to wear something that represents Tanner and I, and then something bigger than ourselves too, in giving back to the Hope Center. But yeah, it's unreal, and like never would I have thought that, you know, being here in my sophomore year, our team would be having the success we're having, and my brother and I would be doing how we're doing, and to have something that people want to wear is cool too. So it's been a treat, and we'll see. I think it'll go as far as as the fans want it to go, but we're blessed. So it's been great.